Would the members of the East Texas Charter Council please stand up? Be recognized. Also honored to have today the first executive director of the East Texas Charter Council, Mr. Howard Hack. Howard? I would like to, I've introduced some of our visitors before, but I would like to again recognize and have standing before you Mayor Lowell Walker, City of Bossier. Tim Vaughn, former mayor of White Oak, was unable to be here today. And I spoke with Senator Eltice's office yesterday, and he also had a prior commitment, but he sends his best wishes as well. I'd like to recognize Councilwoman Kasha Williams of the City of Longview. Councilman.
Good morning. The City of Longview recognizes the importance of evaluating the frequency of the routes between Shreveport-Bossier and Longview, and between Longview and the Dallas-Fort Worth region. We further recognize the importance of this monumental step that could not be possible without the East Texas Council of Governments, the East Texas Corridor Council, East Texas Corridors, and as well as groups such as the Tempo Group. On behalf of Longview Mayor Jay Dean and the entire City of Longview, we congratulate you today on your efforts. This is truly huge, and it could not have been done without the various partnerships that exist as we all advocate for rail. I am delighted today to announce further that the 40th anniversary train of AMTRAK will stop in Longview, Texas. Longview will be the final destination of the 40th anniversary train. So mark your calendars for April 27th, 28th, and 29th. Organizations such as these that help promote throughout our region transportation and mobility efforts, those are the types of initiatives that make our community of Longview able to secure the 40th anniversary train. So again, we congratulate you today. We welcome you to join us as we celebrate. Let's celebrate together, because this is in fact a regional effort and monumental for our community. Thank you so much.
Please join me in recognizing Mr. Max LeCompte. He's Executive Director of the Coordinating and Development Corporation. They are based in Shreveport-Bossier, but actually work within the four-state area of Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas. And they have done a remarkable job of working and trying to promote economic development in the area. Max, please stand up and be recognized. In 2007, in 2008, and 2009, there were 3 memoranda of understanding executed by the East Texas Council of Governments, the North Central Texas Council of Governments, which is Dallas-Fort Worth, and then the Northwest Louisiana Council of Governments, and then the Northeastern Louisiana, the Ouachita Council of Governments. That's their official title. That literally links every parish and county between Fort Worth and Vicksburg, Mississippi, in a pledge to work together to obtain federal funding for the continued development of the South Central High-Speed Rail Corridor. Mr. David Cleveland is Executive Director of the East Texas Council of Governments. David, please bring the
Well, I'm sure you all agree this is an excellent day. It's a fantastic day to be here. And honestly, as you know, this day wouldn't have happened without the efforts of a lot of people. In fact, this day gets down to 3 words: leadership, perseverance, and partnership. We've also already heard about Judge Anderson, and frankly, you all know, but for the tenacious efforts of Judge Anderson, we wouldn't all be here today. We've already applauded for him, but I would like to give him a round of applause. Hutchison, our great senator. This wouldn't be possible without her actually securing the funds for us, and we've heard from Bruce Reb, and that's absolutely fantastic that we have a senator that's actively engaged and that's making a difference in the lives of East Texans and all Texans, and we really appreciate her. So the leadership is actually absolutely critical, but perseverance is also a really key characteristic in our success so far. The perseverance, I've been an executive director now for AMTRAK. I've been blessed to have that position for 5 years. At least 4.5 of those years, we've been working diligently with the East Texas Corridor Council as the administrative and fiscal entity for the Corridor Council to try to help them achieve the objective of higher speed rail along the I-20 corridor. Obviously, today is a first big step in the right direction towards that goal. But we couldn't have done it without the other partners that will be recognized today, from the North Central Texas Council of Governments, from the Northwest Louisiana Council of Governments, from the North Delta Regional Planning Commission. We have the executive directors and representatives from each of those councils of governments that are here today. And I'm proud of the Louisiana contingent. They show up every time. They're always here, and they always are counted and are willing to pick up the load and do the work with us. So, I just want to thank TxDOT, AMTRAK, Union Pacific, and our partners at the other councils of governments and all the other folks that have come together over the years to get us to this point. We're really excited to be in the trenches along with you, and are excited to see this important project move forward. Thank you.
Mr. David Creed, Deputy Director of North Delta Regional Planning and Development District. David, he'd indicated that he was going to be here. Of course, he couldn't make it. Mr. Kevin Felt, North Central Texas Council of Governments. Kevin?
Thank you, Judge. Really, it is a great pleasure for us to be here today in what I would consider the jewel of this area. The North Central Texas Council of Governments Executive Director Mike Eastland and our Director of Transportation Michael Morris regret that they were not able to attend today, but have sent me to pass along their sentiments. This really is truly an exciting day, and we very much value our partnership with everyone within this region. All things are possible when we all work together. That's one of the messages that we would like to also portray. And it's not only beneficial to your region here, but it's also beneficial to the North Central Texas region as well. As you know, trains do travel both ways, so it's not just you going to us, we're going to be out here to you as well. And we look forward to riding on the very first train that does link these two great regions together. Thank you.
Is Mr. Tim Cooper here? In the back. Tim? Tim, as is his customary fashion, had prepared a 20-minute speech, but he is going to forego that today. Mr. Jesse Padilla, AMTRAK District Manager Station, and a dear friend. Jesse? And also we're honored to have with us today the new chairman of the Northeast Texas Regional Mobility Authority, which we will be looking at partnering with, because they have got the power and the authority to issue revenue bonds. And if this feasibility study works, and that is something that we're looking at partnering with the Net RMA and doing. So, Linda, thank you for being here. Mr. Mark Magliari, he came down from Chicago, and he is the manager of media relations for the entire AMTRAK enterprise. Mark?
Thanks, Joe. Celia promised me an office over in the caboose once upon a time, so I have to keep coming back until it's actually...
Yeah, talk with Al about that. I mean, he runs the depot down there.
Okay.
I would, at this time, also I'd like to recognize Council of Government's Transportation Director, Mr. John Hedrick. John? And also our Mayor from the City of Marshall, Mr. Chris Paddock. Chris? The Executive Director of the East Texas Council of Governments has been a dear friend of mine for more years than I care to remember, and has been a source of wisdom and knowledge in working this grant through the process. Griff, would you please come forward? Please join me in welcoming Mr. Griff Hubbard.
Thanks, Judge. Dave, I'm not taking your job yet, so I'm still in the court of counsel. You know, folks, y'all have been in the trenches with all of us. I don't need to give you a talk about where we came from and where we've been. God bless you, Howard Hackney, for having the courage to stand up and chair this in 2004 when there were several naysayers who said, well, what are y'all doing here? Whoever thought we'd see this day? But I'm going to raise my hand first. How many people in the room sat through hours and hours and hours and hours of meetings and speeches and people and officials and said, are we ever going to get anywhere? How many of you? So I knew it had a bunch of you. But we've gotten here today, and I just want to make one brief remark here, and it's already been said, but I want to flesh it out a little bit further. Having the privilege of being in the trenches. By the way, how I got to be executive director of the East Texas Carter Council, since most of you know her, is Joyce Smith told me I would be, and so that's how I got here. And no one says no to Mrs. Smith. But I get the privilege of behind the scenes in the trenches, and let me tell you the simple fact and the simple truth of this whole process is that a wonderful and capable and brilliant man and statesman, Richard M. Anderson, sunk his bulldog teeth into this whole project and would not let go. No matter how many doors were closed, no matter how many people said no, no matter how many people said there'll never be a TxDOT rail division, you just forget it, y'all need to just go away. No matter when the Fed said, if you don't access this money, it's liable to go someplace else. Instead of panicking, we had a man at the helm who stayed with the ship that was taking on a little bit of water, and now that big ocean liner has found safe harbor. Thank you, Judge.
I would also like to recognize the Executive Director for the Northwest Louisiana Council of Governments, Mr. Kent Rogers. Kent? I tell you that Kent was a man of few words, but he has indicated that he's going to be a man of even fewer words. Kent's an honor to have you here. Thanks for making the trip over. Okay, it's a pleasure to have everyone here. This is a great outpouring of support from our partners across the line in Louisiana, to our friends from Austin, and to our friends from all over the Northeast Texas area. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all that you've done working together to make this feasibility study a reality. Once more, when completed, it will be the first of its kind between AMTRAK and TxDOT in the history of the state of Texas. Thank you very much for being here.
I saw it.